You gotta be a bold MFer to be a rapper these days, much more acceptable to be a streamer, podcaster, etc. Laughing emojis. Now you might be wondering what this is about, but clearly this user was right on the money, as you'd see, based on a thread that went viral hours ago on social media, as right now it seems social media users are pretty much looking for every excuse to drag rappers on these platforms, like unprovoked. And it is not just social media users, but even media journalists. But before we get to that involving King Crooked and Rapper the Game, and also Eminem out here randomly triggering hip-hop fans at the mention of his name in an interview, we'll start with this one that pretty much provides the context for this tweet when this discussion went viral. Dudes be rapping the worst bars so confident, pensive face emoji, and it was like hip-hop fans all had their clips in the drafts ready to go to drag rappers and even former rappers, like this one for instance that went viral on MGK in response to the tweet about rapping the worst bars with confidence.
Chit chat with me? Nada. I'd rather stuff my pockets with these dollars till the Fetty make it burst like pinatas. From the, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't see like how you can like listen to that and not like be like, that's.
It doesn't move me, man. Like.
All right, stop it.
It doesn't move me.
Let him listen to the album. Let him listen to the album.
He's a nice guy.
Nah, man, I'm not trying to hear that.
You're better than Yellow Wolf.
Nah, I'm not trying to hear that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't see like how you can like listen to that and not like be like, that's.
It doesn't move me, man. Like.
Damn.
And boy, it is no wonder we've seen reports of MGK blocking users on X, as posts like these have gotta be taking a toll on the rappers who spend hours on social media reading about themselves, like this user who posted about how they just updated their Eminem stand card to platinum after getting blocked by MGK, and under the viral post, MGK is getting tagged with takes like "laughing my bum off, please never rap again" at MGK. And this has got me thinking why MGK tried to seek validation from someone like Charlemagne, of all people, in the first place. And we got more, he really hurt dude's feelings, for real. And looking back, the first time you listened to Not Alike, you were probably wondering what Royce was talking about when he said these rappers, you could probably rub them at fist point. And then Eminem's verse came in and everything made sense. Let me put this freaking silence on this little non-threatening blonde fairy cornball. Like, what the F was this interaction?
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't see like how you can like listen to that and not like be like, that's.
It doesn't move me, man. Like.
And apart from users expressing secondhand embarrassment, other users have been going off about how Charlemagne was still wrong about MGK being better than Yellow Wolf. He was being very generous when saying he was better than Yellow Wolf. But to be honest, the thread is toxic to rappers right now, because even Joe Budden has been getting some hands with a clip of perhaps the worst delivery of his career.
I think them drugs fucking him up. Maybe the Hennessy. If it's too much caffeine, I got the remedy. Had that coward sent to me. That bull'll be red when I grab monster cans, send 5 from ours in a Jeep.
Neutral butt.
A classic example of how you say it is of utmost importance, like you could even get away with a horrible bar if you say it the right way, and users have been going off. In all honesty, it was extremely weak delivery, and some have concluded, can't believe he criticizes rappers for a living now. Well, it is like when you go to business school at uni and the renowned lecturer is all theory. And boy, it has been a rough couple of hours for rappers, as while this was on, Complex dropped a top 50 list of LA rappers that sent shockwaves across the board. I'm talking about massive disrespect to rappers like The Game and King Crooked. And yes, we know Game's antics brings down his status, but damn, check this out from Complex. Game didn't even make the top 10 for LA rappers, and he came in at number 11. And even King Crooked got beat by pretty much everyone, as Crook came in at number 46. And we'll start with King Crooked, who's been actively reposting tweets like this. Crooked being 46 invalidates this list for me, and it is crazy, because if this list was made by Harper's Bazaar, everyone would be talking about how they aren't hip-hop, so they don't know better. But this was coming from Complex, but I'm not surprised, as Complex gave us the all-time classic when they posted about how Eminem's hits did not age as well as his contemporaries, when Eminem is literally the only rapper from the 90s still charting on a weekly basis with his hits, and not just in the United States but in multiple major markets around the world. In the United Kingdom, for instance, Curtain Call was the #1 selling hip-hop album of 2024, so this wasn't a surprise. And King Crooked stayed active as he also reposted this. The homie King Crooked is one of the best West Coast MCs ever, and lyrically as good as anyone, regardless of coast, so Complex dropped the ball on several levels, but I digress. And Crook wasn't playing, he kept reposting. That list is horse crap. Crook can rap better than most of them rappers in his sleep. Just listen to the Dream tapes. And some are now suggesting that the people who are responsible for this blasphemy get fired, and Crook reposted this. They're Complex. Whomever made this list should be fired. I'll give you one reason as to why, outside of the obvious. Why is King Crooked at 46? But we all know what this comes down to. Hip-hop's struggle with the double standard. 1 second, numbers matter. The next second, the numbers don't matter. And they pick and choose depending on if the rapper is a media darling or not. And also depending on what their overlords are pushing, if you know what I mean. And Crook also reposted this. Let me just say that King Crooked raps better than 98% of the people on this list. I'm very critical of Crook regarding past things with House Gang, but I'm no fool, and I won't ever question his rapping ability. He can rap circles around this whole damn list, enjoy your day. And since it was a lot of rappers who don't even write their lyrics ahead of Crook, he reposted this hours ago. Good day to you. And as you can see from the headline and what it insinuates, Lady Gaga shades Madonna. I write all my own music. But even the game wasn't having it. He took to IG to drop an essay accompanied with his own top 100 LA rappers. A few days ago, Complex dropped a list of the top 50 LA rappers, and I don't know who gave the final approval, but I get it. Players F up too. I was born and raised in this city, and I've never moved from it, left it for more than 2 months, or abandoned it to call anywhere else home. I've lost brothers, family, friends, and damn near my own life to the lifestyle that so many people around the world try to imitate. I say that to say I am LA. I've mastered the art of surviving in this city that has claimed so many, and believe when I say I've been in the trenches since my birth. 45 years the music created here has been the soundtrack to my life, and here I stand today as one of the coldest rappers in the history of the city, state, and coast. I've given my blood, sweat, and tears to. Everybody on this list know what it is with me out here, and those not on the list understand that the names above from top to bottom best represent this city and its culture. The few rappers on the list that weren't specifically born here are on the list because of their dedication and choice to ride with the city once they got here. It is non-debatable. Argue all you want to, but this is how I feel. If I'm wrong, challenge my pen and let me remind you of what and who I am. At the end of the day, this is my list. Punk, I was born here and I will die here. Sincerely, the Coast Guard. And Game is talking about how Complex left out Tupac from their list. And while this blew up initially in response to Complex list, deep down we all know the Game is better than Kendrick Lamar. As you can see, the Game doesn't believe this right now, as you can see in his adjusted top 100 list that he posted with the lengthy essay. And clearly Game isn't a fan of Complex's approach of living out Tupac because Pac wasn't born in LA, and his top 10 goes Pac, Snoop, Cube, Kendrick, The Game, Corrupt, DJ Quick, Dre, Eazy-E, and Exhibit. And I'll be looking forward to your thoughts in the comment section, as even though Game ranked Kendrick over him, hundreds of users refuse to accept this, even under his IG post. Nah, Game higher than Kendrick. I'm sorry, and I'm a Kendrick fan. And something tells me King Crooked isn't a fan of the Game's list either, as Game put Crook at number 34 and still ranked rappers like Tyga over King Crooked, among others, which shows the double standard continue on how 1 second the sales matter and the next it doesn't, and people pick and choose depending on the rapper. And moving on to the next point, even Eminem was out here triggering some hip-hop fans just at the mention of his name. And take a guess of the segment that was triggering.
A lot of artists don't write anymore. Some artists will just get in front of the mic and they'll go one line. Wayne is still very much from an era where you couldn't even mess up. So he'll do his whole verse straight all the way through. He still does that to this day. Wayne will. I'm someone that could probably, if you give me 4 or 8 bars, then I can do the rest when I get on the mic. I mean, I come in already halfway ready.
Kind of know where you want to go.
Yeah, I already know where I want to go based on, what I'm hearing. But that's the excitement is not knowing what I'm going to say tonight in the studio. You know what I mean? And then riding home listening to that.
Have you ever recorded a verse, heard somebody else's verse, and say, I got to go back on this thing. I got to get back on this one.
I done rap with the best rappers in the world. The song I did with Eminem, I did my verse. I sent it to Eminem. I send people my verse first. That's how I'm coming.
So you already there.
Man, I just look like this. I'm super confident. I'll give you mine first. Like, here you go. So when me and Wayne are doing projects, we going back and forth. Sometimes you send him something, you like, I know I and then he sent something back where he done wrote on in space somewhere, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, damn, man, what that, you know what I mean? Right. But it's that friendly competition of just like, knowing you're gonna hold yourself, steel sharp and steel.
Yes.
But I like to consider myself like high level, you know what I mean? And early on in my career, I use basketball analogy a lot because I played sports.
Yes.
But even when I played sports, and I'm sure this is not you because you all American, but for me, I used to play according to competition.
Yeah.
So
sometimes you play up, good competition, you play down.
But if they ain't good, and I'm out actually saying to my son, I'm gonna try to tweak it because he'll walk up with some like little boys, and just like on some, you know what I mean? But the greats go hard even on that, right?
Killing that with a sledgehammer.
Yeah. And so when I get in the game, you put me on a song like with Drake, any of those people, man, I'm just gonna go crazy because the competition there.
Yeah.
But then if a pop star pop star called me or something like that, I might not get it to them too hard because it's not that they not like me musically, but it's not like what I'm doing rapping
right.
So but now I have a different mind frame.
Now it don't matter.
It don't matter.
Whatever, I'm killing.
I have to. In order to stay around, stick around, you can't even play with these folks. I don't write raps. Anytime you've ever heard me or heard anything that you love from me, it was off the top of my head from whatever I was feeling that day.
Really? You don't write anything down?
I haven't wrote a rap ever in my life.
And apart from users lamenting on the fact that rappers need to move away from the mindset of not writing your raps, on the other end, the fact that the conversation went to the topic of best rappers in the world, and 2 Chainz followed up the story by bringing up Eminem was more than enough to get the ball rolling. I don't know why he brought up Eminem. Eminem has 0 substance in his raps.
This salt cost 30 times the price of table salt. It is mined by hand from tears.
And this is a testament to why Eminem's pushing 30 years of relevance, as his name will always draw out an emotional reaction. Positive or negative is better than indifference, and one has to wonder how someone gets triggered by that 2 Chainz story.
I don't rap with the best rappers in the world. The song I did with Eminem,
And clearly, Eminem's able to draw such emotional reactions from people who have clearly never listened to his music, which is wild when you think about it, since he's been in the mainstream for a quarter century. Talk about rent-free, that's a feat. And the tweet and the leader even expanded on how 2 Chainz mentioned Eminem to pander to a white audience. And some users are dumbfounded by hip-hop fans who still believe Eminem lacks substance. Every time I see this take, I think there's dudes that have never listened to Eminem at all. What is substance to y'all? Because M has literally rapped about everything under the sun. Hell, half of his career is trolling societal standards and censorship. And even when censorship was getting out of control, when artists were digitally altering lyrics, Eminem dropped the death of Slim Shady, and even CNN wouldn't give him credit for the work he's done to fight censorship. And I'll be looking forward to your thoughts in the comment section. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.